You're being told the superficial thing that, oh, well, inflation is 7.5. No, it's not. Real estate's up 40%. The very things that form the substance of our life, and that is the origins of food. I'm not talking about, food in the supermarket. That's not the origin, although some people think it is. The origins of everything that's in the store it comes from people that grow it. So those aspects have increased at least 40-50%. So the origins of everything have increased, like the price of steel, what you make cars, the plastics, all of those have increased 40, 50, 100%. Real estate, it has to do with a place to live. Everybody needs a place to live, whether you're renting or buying, 40% increase since last year. Don't tell me that it's 7.5%. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. That's why I'm the one making the videos, and I'm the one that helps people retire earlier and better. This is how you will lose your Social Security. I'm going to tell you how you're really going to lose your Social Security, and then I'm going to give you some solutions on what to do about it, so stick with the video. Again, as a reminder, when I say Social Security, I mean not just people on Social Security, but also people on a Social Security, mostly fixed income. Now, there's ways that you can lose your Social Security. One way is, which is amazing to me, is that a lot of people already know that the whole system's insolvent. And I made a different video where I talked about how, because of the insolvency of the system, they're always doing a media campaign to convince people, and it seems to me that they're doing a pretty good job of it to convince people to not take it, to take it as late as possible. And I've already previously discussed the drawbacks of doing that, and there's still a lot of people that do that, and it just preys on fear, which I've been talking about some of these things a little bit, little by little in my videos. I talk about the different aspects of this subject because there's so many different ways that you can lose a modest fixed income such as Social Security. Which one of the ways I didn't discuss, which I was getting to, is that if you just earn a certain amount, which is barely over the poverty line or even actually right at the poverty line for a small family, but not much over the poverty line for a couple, is just earning a little bit of money. You just earn a little bit of money. It can be taken away from you just because you earn a little money. And I said in a different video that different people will take it early because, hey, it's mine, right? I paid into it. So like a person that paid into it, it's like, well, it's mine. I want it. That's what you're told. You do this for yourself. You were not initially told you're going to be doing this so that you can pay for other people's retirement. And we don't care about yours. This is your contribution to humanity. You're going to put your money into a pool, and so that everyone else can retire. No, you weren't told that. That's not how it was sold. But and now we find that it can be taken away from you just because you earn a little money, regardless of the fact that it's yours. It's like saying if you put your money into an investment, pick an investment. Doesn't matter which one. It could be real estate. It could be crypto. It could be the stock market. It could be gold and silver. It could be, flocks of sheep, cows, camels, whatever you want. And, so you put a little bit each month, and after 10 years, you've got all these flocks, or you've got all this this investment. But no, if you earn a little bit of income outside of that activity, you can't have the payoff, the benefits. You invested in all those dividend stocks, right? All those years, and now that the dividends are coming in and you could live off of it, if you earn a little bit of money, you can't have that. I mean, does that make sense in a private sector? No, it doesn't. But when it comes to this scenario with this pooling of your resources within the context of Social Security, which is not private, it's collective. Keep that word in mind, collective. Then you're told, okay, well, if you earn some money, then you're not going to get it. So, I mean, just to say that there are so many different ways that you can lose it. You could say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to earn. I'm just going to live off of this and that, whatever. But, and people will say, well, this won't apply to me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But this is the way that everyone can lose the buying power of their Social Security, and that is When the communists took over in Russia in the 1920s, the first thing that happened in the first 5 years is their currency, which happened to be the Russian ruble at that time, was totally annihilated, destroyed. I mean, the purchasing power, if I showed you the figures on this thing, you would just be like, oh my goodness, that bad? Yeah, that bad. And yeah, we're not being told. You're being told. You're being told the superficial thing that, oh well, inflation is 7.5. No, it's not. Real estate's up 40%. The very things that form the substance of our life, and that is the origins of food. I'm not talking about food in the supermarket. That's not the origin, although some people think it is. Excuse me, sorry about that. It just reminds me when I go through the cash register and she doesn't know what a radish is. But the origins of everything that's in the store it comes from people that grow it. So those aspects have increased at least 40-50%. So the origins of everything have increased, like the price of steel, where you make cars, the plastics, all of those have increased 40, 50, 100%. Real estate, it has to do with a place to live. Everybody needs a place to live, whether you're renting or buying, 40% increase since last year. Don't tell me that it's 7.5%. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. That's why I'm the one making videos, and I'm the one that helps people retire earlier and better. The bottom line is that there is something you can do, and one of them, I have talked about some of these, but I'm going to give you a different angle, and I'm going to go a little bit further. You must remain flexible, and that means, you might think, well, that sounds so simple, but it is simple, but it isn't. It's a simple concept, but it's not an easy thing for people to do. Here's why. People have done the same thing all their lives. Whatever that may be, whether it's a business person that has been running their business all their life. The bottom line is that we do certain things for the same thing over and over and over in order to reach a goal, which is part of the delayed gratification. It's part of the deprivation and delayed gratification group. And so within that group, and it's a lot of people. A lot of people do it that way. I would say most people do it that way. The majority of people do the delayed gratification. Even people that could retire, just like the name of this channel, retire earlier, retire better, they don't know how to do it. They could do it, but they think they have to wait till they're 70, 67 and all that. And so that's what I do. I try to help people to see all the options they have. And so staying flexible sounds simple, but it's not easy because of things become a habit. The way we think is also one of those things. Habits are not just physical habits of, say, eating chocolate pie every night or picking up a cigarette or something. Habits are also the way we think. We habitually think a certain way. And so this flexibility is huge. I'm talking about mental flexibility, because think about it. If a person has sat there and worked all their life with the idea they were going to retire at this age, and then all of a sudden they lose their purchasing power, it's hard to get out of that, and you don't want to be surprised. I'm telling you in advance, you're going to want to stay flexible and remain flexible and realize that we've got a situation on our hands that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be dealt with in a certain way. And the beginning of that is to remain flexible in your thinking. And along the same lines, once we start getting flexible, then we realize, well, we need to start lining up our options. Well, what are our options? It's like last year I could buy this house for $150, but now it costs $400. So what are my options? Like that. And so whereas before we might have said, well, I'm going to retire at this age, and then I'm going to be able to pay this rent, or I'm going to buy this property, or I'm going to do this or do that. And then the currency gets annihilated, and it's like, well, I can't do that. And so what are your options? What can you do? And so focusing on what you can do, not what you can't. So we've got flexibility, we've got listing our options, and then focusing on what we can do and not what we can't do. If you look at our videos and what we do, we're always doing what we want to be doing and what we can be doing to a certain degree, at least some kind of degree. All right, I hope that helped you, and I hope you got something out of that. Let me know what you thought of that and what you think in the comments, and have a wonderful day.